Hey, eLeap 3800. My name's Adriana, and I'll be your librarian this semester. In this video, I'm going to introduce you to the library's website pretty briefly, focusing just on the catalog and a quick introduction to the databases. So, a couple of things that are neither the catalog nor the databases but they are important, are this. Let's start here. So, if you're off campus, you will still have access to everything electronic that we provide access to as long as you use this off campus access button. You can also log into your library account and check on due dates, if you have fines, things like that. And then over in this little blue bar, um, that's where you'll always find today's hours. For all of our hours, you can check them out here. It's worth noting like how long we're open until. Like we keep pretty late hours, so 7:30 to 12 a.m. And weekend hours are a little different. Anyhow, let's start with the catalog. So before I start typing in this big search box, I know this is super counterintuitive. Instead of searching everything, we want to restrict our search just to the USearch catalog. Otherwise, it'll search the whole library website, and that includes stuff like scheduling and information about journals that we work with. So, you don't necessarily want that stuff. Anyhow, for the purpose of this example, I'm going to do, oops, I'm going to have some typos. I'm going to do a search for waste management focusing on e-waste and India. So I've put the word and in between my keywords or keyword phrases like waste management, where I've got the quotation marks around that. Um, and I have so many things I want to tell you. Anyway, and the purpose of typing and between your keywords is to tell the catalog or the database you're using or whatever search engine that you would like to have it return only those results that have all of those keywords that you've typed in. Otherwise, you might get some combination, but not all of them. The other thing I wanted to mention before I hit that little magnifying glass button um, is quotation marks. So you don't have to put them around single words unless you're being sarcastic. I'm kidding. But you can put them around phrases so that it tells the search engine that you're using that you want those words in that exact order. So instead of waste coming up in one paragraph and management coming up 70 pages in, we're looking for this exact phrase. That was such a long kind of intro. Gonna click this little magnifying glass button. Fun fact, you might hear my cat meowing in the background, so he really wants to be in here learning right alongside us. Plaintive cries to be let into this room. Anyway, so the first thing I like to do when I'm looking at a list of results is check out how many I have so that I know whether I need to modify my search or not. The best way to know whether you need to is quick litmus test. Am I willing to look at this number of results? Every single one of them by title. Maybe click on the title, look at the abstract. Probably not, unless it's like Netflix or Shutter or something like that. Anyway, what you can do to get a little bit more focused results is you can use this tweak my results menu here. Um, Things I'm going to point out that aren't like super apparent or maybe you might not notice them. You can access peer-reviewed journals through this catalog link. Underneath that, you got resource types. That just means types of information. We've also got location, and location, Normally, I wouldn't explain something that seems as simple as location, but all of these places are databases instead of physical locations. Sometimes this list will include a physical location, like the Marriott Library or the Quinney Law Library or the Eccles Health Sciences Library. Otherwise, they'll all be databases. And then beneath that, I think this stuff is pretty self explanatory. The last thing I want to point out is that you can change the creation date, aka the publication date of things. So I like to suggest that when you're doing research that's really timely and currency is a big issue, to stick within a 5 to 10 year range around our current date. So from here, I can click refine and we'll go from 1,000 results to 458 results. See, that's not too bad. From there, I can add in extra keywords, like to further narrow down my search results. I can look at a particular type of resource. Let's do that. Ooh, interesting. So notice there's articles, newspaper articles, and newsletter articles. When we say articles up here, these usually mean journal articles. Sometimes they don't. Usually they do. And that's what you're going to want to focus on is journal publications, much more than books, for example. So down again, 265 results. And that is way better, I think. So I can click on any of these titles. You'll see a lot of them have full text available. Many of these are peer-reviewed, which is cool, though not necessarily necessary. But some professors do give that as a requirement. Check in with Dr. V on what her thoughts are on this. Anyway, I'm going to click on a title. Let's look at this one because this was published. Let's see. Ooh, this one's published 2022. Let's look at that one. If I click on the title, that will take me to nothing. What's happening there? That's a bummer. Oh well. The important thing is that we can click on full text. This will open up another tab, and here we'll get usually at least one database. And then you click on that database title, and it will take you to your article. So I can view the PDF up at the top. I can use this little cite button. This is really interesting too. There are even recommended articles. Sometimes that's real hit and miss, but the main thing here is that you can access the full text, whether you're at home or on campus. A quick, tour of this article, just so you can kind of know what to look for when you're composing your citations. So we've got a lot of information here. Up at the very top, you've got minerals engineering, and that's the journal title, okay? Followed by the volume and the publication year. And then you've got a whole other title, much longer, more specific. Oop, here we go. And that's the article title. Below that, you've got author names and looks like affiliations. Very cool. And then the abstract. And an abstract is a brief summary of what the whole article is about. So with this article, which looks like it's about, let me close this up. How long is this article? How many pages? I don't want to scroll through and find out. It could be very long though, based on the size of that little scroll bar. So anyway, reading the abstract will let me know whether I want to actually pursue the whole article or not. And yeah, let's take a look at something different. Let's look at a book. So I'm going to go up to the top here. Let's redo our search just for fun. There we go. Back to our 1026 results. Now I'm going to look at just books and many fewer results, 28. A lot of these are also online access or full text available, as you can see. And I'm looking to see if there are any that are actual physical books. I'm betting based on our location options here that there are not any physical books. But that's okay, because they read the same. All right, so I clicked on full text available, just retracing my steps. It opened a new tab. These are both links to databases. I'll click on one of those, it'll open yet another tab, and that'll take us, ta-da, to our book. So yeah, you can just start reading it here. There's the abstract, and I think that's about it. So I'm gonna keep it brief this time. If y'all have any questions about the catalog, let me know. Back to the library's main website, let's look at the databases very quickly. So you can find those below this great big search box. I actually prefer to use the databases when I'm doing research because while our catalog has a ton of electronic items that you can access, it only interacts with about, I want to say, maximum 20 of our databases. And this little portal to the databases gives us access to 400 plus databases. I don't think I've said that word databases more than span of 5 minutes in my entire life. So, lucky you, you gotta hear it. Anyway, so you can search for databases by title, obviously. Alphabetical order is always how we do things. And you'll get there. You'll have favorite databases by the end of your college career. Otherwise, you can search by subject or by type. Type, like in the library catalog, refers to the type of information. So if you're looking for only newspapers, you can do that here. Or if you're looking for statistical data, you can do that here. Lots of, a pretty wide variety of things. I don't know if it's caught it, but there's a birds of the world. So pretty, how do I put this? A whole spectrum of information in our statistical databases. Otherwise, you can look by subject. So we can look at engineering, or we can look at specific disciplines in engineering: biomedical, chemical, civil, and environmental, EAE. What else we got? You name it, it should be here. Material science. All of these correspond to a major. So all of the engineering disciplines will be under that subject list. Otherwise, you can just look at engineering broadly. And this will take you to a selection of databases that address some facet of engineering. The first one is a big multidisciplinary database that we'll actually take a look at right now. But yeah, you can explore. Trust yourself, you're not going to mess this up by clicking buttons. You might get a little lost in the databases for a second, but that's okay. So this is Academic Search Ultimate. It's a big multidisciplinary database, and that means it covers a broad spectrum of topics. So not just engineering, but maybe also dance or medicine or sports or music. Lots of options. So I'm going to do the same search that I did before. Different typos this time. Waste management. and let's see, it was e-waste and India. And then I'll hit search. You don't have to pay attention to any of that other stuff on the page. And this takes us to our results. So similarly, I like to look at the number of results I've got up at the top. 127 is really pretty good, I think. But like before, I can narrow my range to the most recent 5 years. And that's a pretty good trick. You get fewer results and they're more targeted to what your needs are. So kind of like the catalog, this list you'll also see little icons indicating what kind of material you're looking at. Lots of academic journals, conference papers, stuff like that. It's not exclusively peer-reviewed stuff, so that's worth keeping in mind. But if it's an academic journal, it's probably decent. So let's take a look at this first one just because I want to show you an example. When you click on the title of the article, so that's this one versus the title of the source, it will take you to information about this specific article. So again, you've got the abstract, and you can see if you want to pursue the whole 4-page article or not. If you do, you can access that here, or you can even explore a little further. If you're like, I don't think I want to look at this one. Let's see what else there is under electronic waste. It'll be a lot broader because this is just the subject electronic waste, not waste management, electronic waste in India. So if you need to expand out, do it that way for more general information. Otherwise, yeah, click that PDF. You can email stuff to yourself, cite stuff. I think that's about it, y'all. Let's click on that PDF just to see what it looks like for fun. It'll load eventually. See? A real PDF. Not the one I was hoping to show you, but that's okay. Here's the one I want to show you. Anyhow, that's it in a nutshell. Please contact me via email or Canvas if you have any questions, and I am happy to help. Talk to you soon.